we also have a real quick segment on Marc Lamont Hill, um, who you guys will recognize because recently we covered him interviewing both a leader of Hamas and an Israeli, I think, former intelligence head. It was a really, really great interview, and I myself praised Marc Lamont Hill's work in that interview, which is really, really, it's really good. You should check out that interview. But also, I'm just gonna do that up front here. Okay, so Marc Lamont Hill, excellent work interviewing the leader of Hamas and the Israeli intelligence official, one after the other. Amazing, amazing work. Unfortunately, it has come to my attention that when people said that he was fired for supporting Palestinians, I kind of took that at face value, but it's come to my attention that that is not really the full story.
Hey Jack, look at this funny video. B ha 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 ha
I'm
ha
not
ha
watching a
ha
funny
ha
video right now.
BWA
But thank you for the
BWA
$16
ha
dono,
ha
LB.
BWA BWA
My
ha ha
goodness.
ha 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 habwa ha 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 B wa ha 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 ha
Oh
ha
my
ha
god.
ha 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 ha.
Oh my god. Salmon Moose, thank you for gifting a sub to the Lunar
Salmon Moose asterisk gave asterisk
My
the Lunar
goodness.
asterisk a asterisk tier 1 asterisk subscription.
Um, so no, Marc Lamont Hill didn't get fired from Al Jazeera. He got fired from CNN like in 2018, right? And he got fired, and this has been some people on the left were saying he got fired for what he said about Palestinians, in support of Palestinians specifically. But that's not really the full story. Now I'm gonna explain to you why that is. Here's an Instagram post from 2016. This is Marc Lamont Hill. And this man that he's sitting next to, well, let's just read the caption here. Been blessed to spend the last day with Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Jade says hi to Clarice.
Aw, trans girl Jade says hello to Clarice. She waved back. Been blessed to spend the last day with Minister Louis Farrakhan. An amazing time of learning, listening, laughing, and even head nodding to music. God is great. Now, for people who don't know who Louis Farrakhan is, he's the leader of the Nation of Islam, and also is incredibly virulently anti-Semitic. Can we get a Louis Farrakhan quote here, just real quick? Just real quick. Let's get a couple of quotes. Here's a quote from 2018. Why isn't the white man a native anywhere? You're not a native Palestinian. No, you're not. You didn't originate there. But if you did, then you're the real Semitic people. But the Ashkenazi European, he has no connection at all to the Holy Land. None. So in a showdown, prove to us that you are Semitic. Let's go on with it. It's our time now. Let's see here. You and I are going to have to learn to distinguish between the righteous Jew and the satanic Jews who have infected the whole world with poison and deceit. Or, when you want something in this world, the Jew holds the door. Or, well, if there are any questions about the contexts of how he means these quotes, here's one. The Jews were responsible for all of this filth and degenerate behavior that Hollywood is putting out, turning men into women and women into men. Or, I don't care what they put on me. The government is my enemy. The powerful Jews are my enemy. Like, again, I mean, like, it's just that, like, guys, the ADL And like I'm not the biggest fan of like the ADL. It's a relatively conservative leaning organization, but this is the size of the page they have on Louis Farrakhan, and just quotes on Jews. I'm just gonna scroll until we hit the bottom here. Now you might notice that this is actually quite a long page of quotes upon quotes upon quotes from all kinds of different time periods. Just I can't, dude. Oh, here's Jewish conspiracies. You have Mexicans, but they are Mexican Jews. They run the country. You have German Jews, Polish Jews, Ukrainian Jews, Russian Jews, Lithuanian Jews, Estonian, Latvian, Denmark Jews, Sweden, Norway, Finland Jews. You have Italian Jews. You have French Jews. And everywhere they take on the language, the culture, but they run the money, they run the business. Yeah. Yeah, a small group of Zionists and others are involved in planning against Islamic nations. Those who plotted the 9/11 false flag operation are members of the synagogue of Satan spoken of in the Bible and must be exposed, and my job is to expose them. Again, he's talking about essentially saying the Jews planned 9/11. Synagogue of Satan is an awesome name for a metal band. Yes. I mean, guys, like the page continues. Like if you imagined an anti-Semite in your mind, it's hard to get more anti-Semitic than Louis Farrakhan. Here are some of his thoughts on the Holocaust. Let's see here. The Jews have been so bad at politics, they lost half their population in the Holocaust. They thought they could trust in Hitler, and they helped him get the Third Reich on the road. You know, just, some real cool stuff. I mean, like, guys, we had to get this far, like, 90% of the way through this page before we even got to something that wasn't specifically about Jews. Because then he moves on to talking about whites, the US government, LGBT community. And of course, by the way, all of these things are still about the Jews. Like this one. Brother Barack Obama, under Jewish influence, trying to introduce same-sex marriage to African people, and the Africans say, we don't have nothing like that in our history, we can't identify with that. Then the Western man says, if you want this money from the World Bank or the IMF, you have to make a law that allows same-sex marriage. Look, brothers and sisters, this is satanic. You know? Just, super normal stuff. So, yeah, we finally made it to the end of the page. Finally made it to the end of the page. And this is the guy that Marc Lamont Hill hung out with. By the way, these quotes go back to the 90s. So it's not like Marc Lamont Hill in 2016 would be ignorant of what Louis Farrakhan has said in the past. And again, I consider Marc Lamont Hill a very intelligent man. So, yeah. Hey, Punky Gal, don't be linking other people's Discord servers in my chat, especially with like an intent to like brigade. We don't do that. We don't do that here. That's your one and only warning. Now, of course, CNN severs ties with liberal pundit Marc Lamont Hill after his controversial remarks on Israel. Now, this happened in 2018. This picture and the association that Marc Lamont Hill had with Farrakhan was in 2016. Okay? Now, a lot of people said that this was due to him only saying, "Free Palestine from the river to the sea." Now, of course, he's right to say that. You know, he's right to call for the end of the apartheid state. However, just going to say here that Louis Farrakhan was using Marc Lamont Hill and this specific image to sell a $260 music set. And this came to light in 2018 and probably had far more to do with the decision to remove Marc Lamont Hill than anything he said about Palestine on air. Yes, a $260 music set to benefit the Nation of Islam and Louis Farrakhan himself. So, yeah, like you could actually see this is the image that's being used. I mean, my goodness. Now, Marc Lamont Hill, to his credit, said that he was not aware his image was being used for commercial purposes and will ask for its removal, saying, "I don't want to be used to promote anybody's materials. I'm going to ask for it to be taken down as I don't think it's consistent with my values and my professional standards." Hill said the photo was taken sometime in the autumn of 2016 after the minister invited a number of people to a Wyoming farm to listen to the new album. It wasn't like one big event, it was just people cycling in and out, he said. It was good music, actually. Like, I'm sorry. The most anti-Semitic person in the country invited you to a music event, and you went, and you're like, "It was pretty good music." Like, wait, what? Yeah, the Nation of Islam leader has come under heat in recent days, and again, this was in 2018, for remarks comparing Jews to termites. Which is also probably why renewed scrutiny was on Louis Farrakhan around this time, and also, by extension, on Marc Lamont Hill, whose image was being used to promote the most anti-Semitic man in America's new album. Okay? Like, just to be clear here. And, again, a lot of left-leaning outlets did report things like, "Oh, yeah, this was the last straw for Marc Lamont Hill. His support of Palestinians was what got him fired." And, again, I do have to say, it was probably a lot more to do with his association with Louis Farrakhan. And, interestingly, on the Wikipedia page about this, appearing on the Breakfast Club radio program in December of 2018, Hill said that while he does not agree with Farrakhan on all issues, and now this is a direct quote here, "For some reason, if you meet with Minister Farrakhan and you don't throw him away wholesale, then you're castigated in a way that doesn't happen to anyone else. Why is only one set of people untouchable? And why does every black leader have to ritually denounce Farrakhan in order to sustain a position? That doesn't happen to anyone else." Now, I don't know about you guys, but that sounds like you're pretty consistent in your support with Louis Farrakhan. Okay, in fact, it sounds like in this quote, like Marc Lamont Hill is explicitly referring to, well, why is only one set of people untouchable, he said. Which set of people do you think he's talking about in this clip? In this quote? Curious. Anyway, the interview that Marc Lamont Hill did recently was very good. But maybe we should be somewhat aware of the fact that he has an incredibly sus past as regards associating himself with people who call Jews termites and perpetuate conspiracism around how Jewish people plotted 9/11. Maybe we should have a little bit of, a little bit of salt for someone like that. A huge grain of salt with whatever they say, even if they did a pretty good interview in this one case. So, just throwing that out there, I learned about that, and I figured it was worth saying, especially after I praised his work so much just the other day.